Hi everybody, this is Laney. Hope you all are doing well. In today's video, I will be talking about Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, or ADA, is a civil rights that prohibits discrimination based on disability. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, which made discrimination based on race, religion, sex, national origin, and other characteristics illegal, and later, sexual orientation. In addition, unlike the Civil Rights Act, the ADA also requires covered employers to provide reasonable accommodations to employees with disability and impose accessibility requirements on public accommodations. You all can go back to my video, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and you will find some of that literature in that video as well. The ADA was introduced to the Senate on May 9th, 1988. It was considered by Senate Labor and Human Services. It passed the Senate on September 7th, 1989. It passed the House on May 22nd, 1990. Reported by the Joint Conference Committee on July 12th, 1990. Signed into law by President George H.W. Bush, Daddy Bush, on July 26, 1990. And it had a major amendment, or should I say major amendments, in 2008. In 1986, the National Council on Disability had recommended the enactment of an Americans with Disability Act, also known as ADA, and drafted the first version of the bill, which was introduced to the House and Senate in 1988. The final version of the bill was signed into law on July 26, 1990, again by Daddy Bush. It was later amended in 2008 and signed by George W. Bush, the son, with changes effective as of January 1st, 2009. The Capitol Crawl. Shortly before the act was passed, disability rights activists with physical disabilities met in front of the Capitol building. They shedded their crutches, wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, and other assistive devices, and immediately proceeded to crawl and pull their bodies up, all the way up 100 of the Capitol front steps. Without warning, as the activists did so, many of them chanted, "ADA now," and "Vote now." Some activists who remained at the bottom of the steps held their signs and yelled words of encouragement at the Capitol crawlers. A second grader with cerebral palsy was videotaped as she pulled herself up the steps, using mostly her hands and arms, saying, "I'll take all night if I have to." This direct action is reported to have convinced several senators to have pushed them to approve the act. The Capitol Crawl of 1990 is seen by some present-day disability activists in the United States of America as a central act of encouragement and encouraging the ADA into law. The ADA Amendments Act of 2008, the ADA defines a covered disability as a physical or mental impairment that limits one or more of life activities. A history of having such an impairment or being regarded as having such an impairment. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, was charged with representing the 1990 law with regards to discrimination in employment. The EEOC developed regulations limiting an individual's impairment to one that severely or significantly restricts a life activity. ADA Amendments Act of 2008. On September 25, 2008, President George W. Bush signed the ADA Amendments Act of 2008 into law. The amendment broadened the definition of disability, thereby extending the ADA's protections to a greater number of people. And examples of major life activities were included, such as caring for oneself, performing manual tasks, seeing, hearing, eating, sleeping, walking, standing, lifting, bending, speaking, breathing, learning, reading, concentrating, thinking, communicating, and working, as well as the operation of several specified major bodily functions. Also, in 2008, the United States House Committee on Education and Labor stated that the amendment makes it absolutely clear that the ADA is intended to provide broad coverage to protect anyone who faces discrimination on the basis of disability. 25th anniversary in 2015. As of 2015, the ADA had improved access to public services, including crosswalks with curbs cut and accessible pedestrian signals. Understanding of the abilities of people with disabilities established a right to equal access to public services and has demonstrated the contribution which people with disability can make to the economy. So there you have a little bit of history on the Americans with Disability Act, which was signed into law on July 26, 1990. Be well, stay safe, and stay in peace, not pieces. Hit that bell so you will know every time I upload a video. Word of the year, peace. Peace. Deuces. See you soon.